this quote.
Thank you, Jerry. I mean, this is just confirmation for what I've been saying for the last 6-7 years.
Wow, 6-7 years.
Yeah, because remember, I had the radio show, The Odd Couple, before I joined you.
You got 5 to 7.
Yes.
No, 6 to 9.
6 to 9.
Yeah, 7 to 10 actually. But and I've actually used I used the term soap opera. Like, this is just proof that Jerry does not view the Cowboys primarily as a football franchise. They are primarily an entertainment enterprise. Mm-hmm. And I've said this before, but, you know, we've all gone to see great movies that are sports-based, but they're really not about the sports. They're about the love story or whatever. Yeah, I wasn't the first that came to mind, but Love and Basketball or something like that. Where it's a Bull Durham.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Bull Durham wasn't about baseball. It was about the love. So the Cowboys are a drama, a controversy in a football setting. That's what they are. And that is great for the bottom line. It's great for business. And that's why the Cowboys, despite having not won a Super Bowl in the last 30 years, are the highest valued franchise in American sports. Baseball, basketball, they are the highest. And so it's great for that, but it's terrible for football because it creates distractions. What coaches don't want are unnecessary distractions. And that's what Jerry is constantly creating. Look at all the great winners, the Chiefs now, the Patriots, the Steelers in the NFL, whether it's the Lakers or some team in the Spurs in the NBA. Like, if there might be drama, but it's drama based on the game. When Shaq and Kobe had their drama, it hurt the team. Right? Yep. And so this is he just summed up what he and they are all about, and it's great for money, but it's terrible if you want to win Super Bowl.
So I want to take it maybe a step further because, listen, you have been saying this for years, and I don't think you're the only person who has made this point, but I think you're the only person I know of that this has been your main point about the Cowboys. I think everybody's acknowledged Jerry likes to be, you know what I mean, in the mix. But you have talked about back a couple of years ago when I was picking them to make the Super Bowl because I liked the roster, about the silliness associated with the team. And so I thought about that when I was listening to this quote because I tried to square that with the fact that Jerry, this past offseason, did something very, very specific and a major decision that decreased buzz, that made them less of a circus or a sideshow or less attention, and that is his head coach pick. He could have picked Bill Belichick, which would have been a massive story, and instead he picked as anonymous of a head coach as one could get in Brian Schottenheimer. And I thought about why is that? And so this is what I'm saying I want to kind of add to it. It's not just that the Cowboys are a soap opera. It's that he has to be the star.
Yes. Yeah.
It's not just that we need the attention, but I need to be the main character of this movie.
I'm so confused right now. Why are they having a conversation right now about the Dallas Cowboys? Like, this is new information. Like, this is a new, like, even Nick, I thought Nick was going to say something, like, pretty interesting. And he was just like, Jerry needs to be the star. We've known that for years. This was established, like, 20-plus years ago. Like, of course, he was never going to hire Bill Bitch because Bill Bitch is his own brand. He's his own football force. That's why he hires these, his last 3 coaching hires have been hires that are like, not really the face of a franchise. Like, there's nothing new here. We've known this forever. I mean, it's crazy, though, that Jerry Jones straight up said, hey, having great players is good and stuff, but, like, if there's controversy, I'll need to stir it up. Like, even controversy is good because it gets eyes on it. Like, he is absolutely, undeniably saying the quiet part out loud. Like, that's the new thing, I guess, that he's straight up saying, yes, all of the things that you thought that I do and how I operate is right. He's like, I operate like social media, man. I'm here to just get people to click and watch, and I'm I'm ready to say wild takes like the Chicago Bears are going to the Super Bowl, the Kansas City Chiefs are going undefeated, the Philadelphia Eagles won't even make the playoffs. Patrick Mahomes is the greatest quarterback in the NFL. I could do it all day. Dak Prescott's going to win the MVP. And like that's how Jerry Jones runs this franchise because it's a business and he makes an insane amount of money. And you know, it's not always about winning. I never been able to find the clip, but I referenced it a handful of times. It was the old Speak for Yourself with like Marcellus Y and Witt and stuff. And you know, he was having a conversation with Mark Slurith. He was on the show and Mark was like, it's all about winning a ring. And like Marcel's wife was like, it's not like that for all. He's like, I respect that it was like that for you, but it's not like that for everyone. He's like, and for me, and he admitted, he's like, for me, it wasn't. It was like, I needed to get as much money as I could, man. I grew up absolutely poor. My whole family is poor. My family's family is poor. Like my for generations, my family will continue to be poor. I got this opportunity to make money and change the entire past, present, and future of my entire family lineage. Like I got to go out and get the money, man. That is what I have to do. And I respect that honestly. And there's plenty of players that are like, I gotta make money. And there's owners that are like, it's great to own this team and I want to win rings, but like money is important to me and it's just, you know, and also just being wanted and needed. And when you have that much money and that much power, it really is, right? No man should have all that power. Like it's just things get weird. And credit to Colin, he's talked about this a lot where he always talks about like athletes who are like, if they're single and they're really wealthy and you know, there's no one there to keep them in check, like things. He's just talked about like things kind of just typically get weird and you just, you know, when you have all that money and power, you're just like, I literally can do what I want. Like how many of us just truly want to do whatever we want? And now imagine like actually legitimately not only having the power to do what you want, but then like the power to control others and the power to use that power to make even more money by having power. I mean, like it's just it's kind of hard to comprehend. I mean, I did the math before with Jerry Jones. I mean, because it's not just about money. Like it's also power. You could be really rich and not have power. You can be fame and not have power. You can have fame and not be all that rich. Like he's got it all. And when you like do the math for him, I mean, like, do the math. It's like it was like a $5 tip. I don't even think it was that. It was like a 5-cent tip for someone if they had like $100,000 in their bank account, you know? It was just like nothing. It was a fart in the wind and it was just like, that's the type of person that you're dealing with here. And it's levels because Jerry Jones is worth like, what is it, like 80 billion or something, you know? Let me see real fast. 16 billion. I was off by like 70 billion. 16 billion. Think about how when we talk about someone how much money $1 billion is, right? If you're worth like $1 billion, you have an insane amount of wealth. Like it's just you can't even comprehend it. Now double that. That's $2 billion. You have twice the amount of wealth that $1 billion is so massive, so insane, so next level. You literally can with that amount of money. You can literally do whatever you want. Now you just double it. Now you have double that insane amount of worth. And now double it again. And then double it again. I mean, like it's really hard to like actually comprehend. And now you have all that wealth and you own the most popular team in the most popular sport in the most popular league in America. And when comparing it to the world also, like I think the Cowboys are considered like top when you like factor in like, you know, soccer teams and stuff like that. Like it just you're just talking about like just global like just massive amounts of power and fame and control. I mean, like it's so hard to comprehend. Now you're starting to get older and you're not firing at all cylinders and you have all this, like it's actually pretty breathtaking. And it's actually in a way it's actually kind of cool to be able to like get a front row seat to be like, because I'm never going to know what it's like to have $16 billion and know the Dallas Cowboys. The closest I can get to that is watching Jerry Jones. And luckily he just keeps talking. So we get to kind of see like how's he thinking, like how's he doing it. And it's honestly from an entertainment perspective and just a psychological perspective, it's fascinating. And then someone said in the comment section on Monday, they were like, "Oh, did you see what First Things First said about Bo Nix?" And I was like, I can't wait to see it. And then I had to go look it up and see, and I was like, this is perfect, because I actually wanted to highlight these two plays. And I was actually so worked up because I saw an ESPN, I screenshot it on my phone. I don't have it on my computer right now, but it was just like, let me see if I could just find it on the desktop, see if it's still there. Yeah, this was the phrasing, right? Some shines after Nick struggles. Jared Stidham threw 2 touchdown passes following a lackluster performance from Bo Nix and Denver starters in 2 drives. I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, Bo Nix was dropped back 11 times and was pressured 4 of those times. So, I mean, and he made something out of nothing a bunch of times, but it just didn't work out. It happens. It's a preseason game. Those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about Bo Nix and Denver Broncos and that embarrassing, humiliating performance? And just they should have drafted a quarterback this year. They should have gotten Shador Sanders is who they should have gotten. I mean, then they could have maybe actually had a chance to win some games this year. Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment. It's whether you agree with me or disagree with me. Either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all generally feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're on our way to doing it, and please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time. So it's pretty crazy. I mean, it is. I'm just more surprised that they were talking about this. Like, this is like somehow new information. Like, Nick actually really had to ask himself, why didn't he hire Bill Belch? We know that, like, that is we've known that answer. It's why there was never any chance that he was hiring Bill Bitch or a Harbaugh or even a Ben Johnson. Why didn't he go out and get Ben Johnson? Are you kidding me? Like, you can't make a play if you, the Dallas Cowboys, can't pay for Ben Johnson to make an offer, be like, come on, Ben, be a head coach here. Like, it is hard to turn down being a head coach for the Dallas Cowboys. So yeah, I don't know, man. And it is a little frustrating because I'm always conflicted between, sometimes I want to cover things, that it's always a balance between trying to figure out what I find interesting, and usually my logic is always like, what I find interesting other people will find interesting, and if they don't, well, then they probably don't really want to watch me anyway. But then I also try to figure out, like, what do other people want? And like, sometimes I shut up, ask you, like, do you want me to keep covering Shador Sanders? Like, what about this story? Aaron Rodgers, this, that. It's just like, what do you guys like? What do you guys want? Because there's plenty of stories that I'll skip or that I don't find interesting. And then and sometimes people are like, oh, what about this? What about that? And it's like, okay, yeah, I guess I'll cover it. But it's like always kind of doing that dance. And there's many Dallas Cowboy stories I'm just like, I'm just going to skip because it's not interesting to me. Like, at the end of the day, like, as much as I am interested by something like this in terms of just like how his mind is operating from an actual football entertainment perspective, I actually really don't care. Like, I think like Colin has done a handful of Dallas things recently, and I'm just like, I just don't care. I'm like, whatever. And if we were in the season, if this was week 2 or week 3 and I got a Lions game to talk about and a Commander game to talk about, and Jalen Hurds had a bad game, so everyone's talking about how bad he is, and the Kansas City Chiefs are 2-2 and Lamar Jackson's 4-0. Like, I'm talking about everything but this. Like, I'm not drawn to that controversy. I'll talk about it when it feels that the NFL world is talking about it, and it seems like, hey, there almost feels like sometimes like there would be like almost like an expectation, but from like a strictly entertainment standpoint, like, I'm not drawn to this type of stuff. And then that's where my mind then goes, where I think to myself, I have to imagine other people aren't either, which then makes me think, we have this broken feedback loop where these shows are like, we got to talk about the Cowboys, and let's talk about this. And Jerry Jones, like, see, I told you when I stir controversy, you guys talk about it and it's just like the shows do, but like, do the people really care that much? I feel like we all almost get tricked a little bit because, like I said, if there was more going on right now, it's like I wouldn't even remotely cover this. And if they weren't talking about it, I wouldn't be like, oh, did you hear what Jerry said? I got to make a clip into that. Like, there's so many other times that there's stories that are not being talked about that I go, I got to find a way to make a clip about that. I got to do a whole breakdown on this. Oh, I got to discuss this. Oh, I'm definitely doing a deep dive in that. And then I go make a clip like things like this. I'm like, if they weren't talking about it, they open up the show with like Mahomes and Lamar and Jalen, whatever. I wouldn't be like, oh, aren't they going to talk about, you know, because there's sometimes I'm just not. So it's just like to even open the show with this. I'm just like, do people actually really care? Like, is it actually that important? You guys tell me. I'm genuinely curious. Genuinely curious. It's just like so many of these stories that come from Dallas Cowboys and all the things that Jerry Jones does to do his part. Like, as he says, if we're not being looked at, I'll do my part to get us looked at. Like, are you actually entertained by that? Both Cowboys fans, which I assume not, but then just non-Cowboys fans, people who are just like, I'm here to consume football content. Like, do you actually find that entertaining? I'm straight up asking. I really would love to know. It would help me get a better understanding, honestly, because my mind's like, I don't really care, but I am curious. So, let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments below. I read every single comment. It's whether you agree with me or disagree with me. Either way, let's get in some discussions, let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here and absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all generally feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be a part of. I think we're on our way to doing it, and please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.